back. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We're doing Crab Cake Row. It is a cup of soup or bowl. I have had a cup of soup that felt like a bowl, but it wasn't what, like, really, like, you know, where I was. But I'm going to come back later on and make that happen, though. So we're doing it all courtesy of our friends at the Maryland Lottery. 10 times the cash is the way to make that happen. Top prize is $10,000. Our friends at Window Nation as well, 866-90-NATION, and Jiffy Lube Multi-Care, the way to make that happen. We've had great guests here today. I've only cried 2.5 times. I'm not going to cry in this segment, I don't think, but I'm going to try to figure it all out here. This is maybe a favorite segment of the day, I think. And she's laughing and she's giggling and smiling. But I think Trish Woodward's going to be one of my favorites here. I didn't recognize your name because you're, like, married now, right?
Right.
But you wrote me an email that I got 2 days ago, and it became a topic of conversation with my wife at the dinner table. I'm like, you're not going to believe how Smaltimore can be. That when I give a shout out to my community and say, I need charity people, community people, stories I've never told, like that amazing story I just told with St. John's, the food pantry in Essex, and I've had animal people out here. I've had military, lots of food people and pantries for the Maryland Food Bank. And by the way, if you're still out driving around listening to rush hour traffic, stop by. We're at Costas Inn. We're in Dundalk. You can bring canned goods. Lots of people have done that. We're on a second table right now full of canned goods. If you do that, we give you a cup of soup or bowl. Trish heard about this. I don't know. I'll let you tell the story because, you sent me an email.
You LinkedIn me. You messaged me on LinkedIn.
Somebody recommended you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what somebody wrote to me and said, you need to feature Camp Opportunity. And I don't know what that is.
Okay.
And when I wrote to you, you said it has Dundalk roots. You said Dundalk roots or Colgate roots? I don't know what you
Dundalk.
said. And then I wrote you back and said, come on by, come at 3 o'clock or whatever on Tuesday because you wanted to come here. And then you wrote me back and you're like, I know you. And I'm like, okay, I got to hear this. So you want to tell people the story about our childhood?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you, I went to Colgate, Halliburton, Dundalk.
Like him, my son went to Colgate.
Yep. So you're a couple years older than me. I'm 52. And
I'm 55.
Okay, so you were cast in Oliver at Colgate Elementary.
I was, by Jack Delaney and Harry Shriver.
Oh, Mr. Delaney.
And Miss Evangelista, who was the principal there at the time, although she was not my principal, but yes.
Yes. So he cast you to come down from the middle school to perform in Oliver. What was your
I was the
role?
Artful Dodger.
Yes, and you were
which
so
was a
good.
question last night in Jeopardy.
Was it really?
I went home Monday night, and I was exhausted, like I'm going to be tonight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I did 12-hour day yesterday. I'm doing 12 hours every day. I haven't done live radio in 10 years. I'm going to be hoarse. And I went home, and I won't say I'm prickly, but, I'm, really I had to answer your email, send that. And I'm doing all of this stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, my engineer showed up there. He's like, I'm surprised you're alive today, especially with stuff breaking down and me freaking out and, whatever. So my wife's watching Jeopardy, and I'm trying not to be, distracted, but it's there, and my computer's here, and I had her hit pause. Whenever I want to talk to her, I'm like, hit pause, because I want your attention, right? And I said, okay, go back. I'm answering an email. I said, hit pause, and I looked up, and the question was, this character played this was the Artful Dodger. It was, what show is it? And the show was Oliver Twist, right?
Yeah.
So I said, this is crazy that Oliver Twist and the Artful Dodger, and you forgot the Artful Dodger. You even asked me what it was.
Yeah, I knew you were part of Fagan's gang.
I was part of Fagan's gang.
And that's where I was as well.
You were one of the bad
kids. I was in the chorus.
You had the dirty face and all that stuff on.
Yep. And then, so we were in that show together. I was in 6th grade. You're in middle school. And I just remember we exchanged.
Yourself at home. Consider yourself part of the family. So I do that one.
And we exchanged class pictures. Oh, I loved it.
Dear, anything. Yeah, there you go.
It was awesome. It was he was such a good principal.
Jack was a beautiful man.
Such a beautiful man. And and I just remember you coming down, and of course, you're from the middle school, you're older than everybody, so everybody's like, oh, Nestor, Nestor, and then
It's still like that.
You took pictures with everyone, and you gave us your class picture, and you wrote on the back of it. I'm sure I have it somewhere in my box full of folded notes.
Tony Nistico was in that show with us, and Mr. Shriver, Harry Shriver, was a teacher at Overley High School.
How do you remember these names?
I remember everything.
Oh my gosh!
And I think we lost Jack in the '80s to age-related illness. He was a beautiful guy, and we lost Lem Henson. Lemuel Henson was one of the beautiful people in my life. Music teacher. He was brutally murdered about 4 years after the show. Awful. But on the good side of things, that's 3 cries, dude. 3.5, 3.25. I'm going to lose myself. But so we did the show, and at some point, some parent, and this is 1982, so you got to put your heads around this. They had a video camera in Dundalk, right? So they had one of those camcorders or shoulder cam. I don't know what it was, but we did a dress rehearsal before the show, and it was videotaped. And it was a full run of the show. And I have had that videotape in my videotapes in boxes that moved from Kane Street to White Marsh to 2 different places. My son went to the hall, Perry Hall, and it moved back downtown with me with the tapes. They're like treasured possessions of mine.
I had no idea. Right? I had no idea they existed.
They're videotapes, and I always had a working VHS machine, but I never used it. Still have it. Still works. I don't use it. And when my wife got cancer, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I have archival audio of interviewing David Bowie and Robert Plant, and
so cool.
I have all of this stuff from the 80s that they're on little mini tapes. So they were the first thing, because I wanted to put them on the radio and figure out what stupid thing I may have said to David Bowie when I was 19. It actually turned out better than I thought. But I have all of my audio tapes from 30 years of doing radio. So I have tapes. I have many. People ask, like, how do I make Baltimore? How do you find an old interview with somebody just died? Well, I have them, right? I digitized a lot of that when my wife was ill. And it gave me something to do in the hospital. And, I just had little recorders with batteries. And I just put it in the GarageBand and just turned everything into an MP3 or an MP4. The videos were different. I couldn't take the video player to the hospital in 2014 or 15. So sometime in like 16 or 17, it's before the plague, I got a program, and this is what Greg Landry does at Towson Transfers, my friend. He was on the show yesterday. He was supporting Baltimore Outreach Services, which is at the Harbor, which takes care of abused women and their children in a church. So you can go listen to that piece. But Greg takes these tapes and transfers them. He does this professionally at Towson Transfers, right up off Loch Raven Road. And I gave him stuff to do for me because I didn't have the equipment. He has a Betamax, for crying out loud. And I cannot begin to tell you that I didn't know if these tapes would be destroyed, whether they would work or not.
Right.
Like, I thought maybe they would toggle or they would just disintegrate or whatever. But I got the MP4s back of me with John Buren trying out at Channel 13 in 1987. Stuff that I had that, like, it was on a videotape. What am I going to do with it? Well, then YouTube comes along, right? So I got the MP4 of the whole show of Oliver. It sounds good. It looks good. It's real. And I thought, this is so personal to me and the 40 people that were in the show, and anybody that might care to laugh at me when I was 13 singing show tunes, right? And you can still laugh at me singing show tunes if you wish. That I took the pieces of my songs and just edited them out for 3-minute, I Do Anything, Consider Yourself, and I put them up on the web, and I got people howling. But the weirdest part is, and I'd have to go on the Facebook and find the video, the gal, and I'm going to forget her name, and I hope she is listening. But there was a grown-up, a woman who wasn't a kid. She was a grown-up in the show. She was 22, 23. She was a grown-up, but we were kids. She saw the posting.
Wow.
And she's like, oh, my God, you have that videotape. Like, that's unbelievable. And I connected with her, and I'm so sorry I forgot your name again, but I haven't seen her. And then you appeared this week with this Oliver reference from 1982, and you do this camp opportunity thing that I'm going to get to in a minute. But so you're the second person. I mean, Jack's dead. Lem was murdered. I don't know if Harry's alive. I hope he is. Harry, I hope if you're out there, you're a beautiful guy. But it's been 42 years, man.
Yeah.
And I think of Jack as being young and vibrant, and probably he was in his late 30s, early 40s at the time. I mean, Jack would be 80 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And we had this moment in time.
And
So,
we certainly did. Yeah.
where did you live in Colgate? Which street were you on?
I lived in Eastwood.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. So
Over with John Allen, the Eastwood kids.
Yeah. So they closed our elementary school.
You did go to elementary. You went to kindergarten and
I did
Eastwood.
it through second grade. Went to Colgate third grade.
Okay. Look at how you turned out.
Yeah, I did all right.
You were in Eastwood. It wouldn't
yeah,
have happened, man.
Yeah.
She got a Make It Happen shirt on. Trish Woodward, maiden name.
Falkenstein.
Yeah, I think I remember you
Yeah,
now. I remember
yeah.
you as Falkenstein. And
Yeah.
when you walked in there, I looked at you and I'm like, I know you.
Yeah, I was at your house on Kane Street when you would have those house parties.
You're the second one today that
Yeah.
says that you
Yeah.
illegally drank alcohol at my house at 428 Kane Street back in the late 80s.
I don't
early
know if
90s.
it was illegal, but I'm gonna wink.
No. We would never do anything like that at 428 Kane Street. So you were at my parties, too. Did you play
Yeah.
Burger Time? Or
No.
is there anything you want to say about my parties other than there was a lot of beer and a lot of girls?
There were
and-
a lot of people. I just remember there being a lot of people.
I'm
yeah.
lucky I'm not in jail. I mean, I didn't do anything really bad, but, you know,
There was a lot of people.
there
at
were a
those
lot
parties.
of people at those parties, you know.
Yeah. No, it was always fun. Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
the cops showed up.
I mean, yeah. I think there was. I think I've been to two, and I remember the cops at one of them.
Just one. 50%. Wasn't a bad weekend. There were never any fights. It was just,
Oh no.
it was
volume.
peaceful.
It was just volume.
It was volume. Volume of people or volume of sound?
Volume of people.
Both. Yeah, I think both.
Yeah.
The people in the backyard.
Yeah.
Camp opportunity, while we're having fun. I mean, this is obviously different. I Googled you. I know what you do. I told my wife how cool this is going to be to have you on. And by the way, I told everybody, I don't know if you care or not, I'm going to give you the MP4 of Oliver.
I would love it.
You have kids and stuff?
Yeah, I have three kids.
Well, they're going to love watching that,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I already sent them the little snippet you sent
well,
me.
I'm the star of that. You were in the whole show.
Well, I was right next to you in one of them.
That's why I remember you, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would love that whole thing.
Well,
That'd
I
be
have
great.
it. I have it.
Yeah.
It's just a file transfer at this point.
Cool.
So you thought it was gone.
Yeah. I didn't even know it existed. I had no
Right,
idea.
you thought it was gone.
Yeah.
It's not. I got it.
Yeah.
You got it now, too.
That's awesome.
Camp opportunity. Trish Woodward's here. We're Costas. You get I feel like Oprah. You get a lottery ticket. 10 times the cash. I'm giving these out. I'll be at Coco's Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be at State Fair. Friday, at Pappas if I don't lose my voice. I ate some soup. And I'm going to be doing some yoga later on. But let's talk about your kids. Let's talk about camps. Let's talk about a camp opportunity. And you told me it was born in Dundalk. So
It certainly
I'm like,
was.
you're perfect
yeah.
for this.
Yeah. So Camp Opportunity has been around since 1985. Volunteer run. It was born in Dundalk, a Community of Christ church, which is no longer here. I think that the closest location is now in Laurel. But yeah, they did a study. The church paid to have a study done to figure out what was needed in the community, and they came back to a camp. A camp is needed for the kids in the local community, and so what Camp Opportunity is and has grown into is a traditional overnight summer camp for kids ages 8 to 11 who have experienced abuse and neglect. And so it's not just the 1 week camp. They come, they return year after year for up to 3 or 4 years, depending on age and grade. And we keep in touch with them throughout the year. One of the blessings of the plague or COVID is that it's sort of encouraged us to do even more virtual with them. So each kid goes home with a tablet at the end of the week, and then they log into virtual cabin time the first of every month. So they get to reconnect virtually with counselors and staff and friends.
Sure.
And so
I got to tell you this. My wife told me the worst experience of her life was summer camp. She told me last night. We were talking about it. She's like, did I ever tell you about my camp? I was 10. There was a girl there. She hated me. And I said to my wife, I'm like, you sound scarred. She's like, it was awful. I hated it. And she's like, I hope camp opportunity is better than that. That's what she said to me. And I said, well, I'm going to meet this girl, Trish, I knew 40 years ago, and I hope she's giving these kids a better opportunity than that.
No,
my son went to camp. Did you hate it? He loved it.
Yeah.
I said to Jen, I think Barry loved camp.
Yeah. No,
I sent him off to get rid of him because he's a pain in my ass. I mean,
I did
no
the same
offense,
thing with
I love
my
you,
kids.
but I mean, like, You're 13, dude. Like I needed some downtime.
Right.
Dog.
No, I get it. We would do that
I
with our
needed
kids.
some me time.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
He turned out all right.
Yeah, look at him. He's
He went to
great.
Colgate. He's fine,
Yeah.
man. He's
Yeah,
good.
we're all
Santa
thriving.
Claus is here.
We're
Look
all
at that.
thriving. Yeah. So, but our kids, they love it. They look forward to coming. And, you guys talk about food insecurity, this population that we serve, a lot of these families and kids, they do,
You can never
suffer.
afford a camp, right?
So they go for free. They get 3 square meals a day. The mealtime in the dining hall is the favorite time. It's
the highlight of their
It
summer.
is the highlight.
Right.
And I have a sad, happy story that I'll tell in a minute, but it's just a really great place for kids to go. They get to, get out of their environment. A lot of these kids have never seen the woods before or camped before or had a campfire with, so they're experiencing something completely new.
Are there bugs at camp?
There are lots of bugs
I
at
don't.
camp.
That's why I'm not going.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am not a camp counselor.
Yeah.
My wife's always trying to get me to go walk in the woods. I'm like, there's mosquitoes out there. I'm not going out there.
They don't care. They don't care. We have a swimming pool. They get to go swimming. That's the highlight. They come, some of them with nothing. So we have a shop where they can go and get their toothbrush and clothes and swimsuits and swim shoes and flip-flops. Whatever they need for the week, they are taken care of.
Where is it?
So we don't have our own campground yet. But we were grandfathered into a week at Camp Hashoah, which is in Carroll County.
Okay.
It's really great. They've been a great partner for us.
I sent my kid to West Virginia to, he
Yeah.
could see real nature.
Yeah. So
Take
that's
me home, country roads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carroll County, though.
Carroll County. It's a beautiful campground. They've worked with us since 1985. And
it's a week.
It's 1 week.
Okay.
It's 1 week, and we're growing. So they brought me on last year as the executive director, and so this year we're going to get in another week of camp. We're going to be able to bring Camp Opportunity to up to 36 more kids. So
2 weeks.
We're going to have 2 weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that's
30.
the first.
So you do 72 kids.
We're going to have up to 72 kids this year.
All right.
And then the dream, the end game is we're going to have a whole summer of camps of weeks of camp for
Look
kids.
at you.
Yeah. So that's the dream. And
every
we're
Friday
well
night
on
we'll
our
show
way.
Oliver.
Yes. That should be. We do themes, so I should pitch that to Patty Steinberg, one of our founders. She is in charge. Her and her husband Phil are in charge of our journey curriculum, and so everything is themed when they come to camp. It's last year it was Harry Potter. This year it's Kung Fu Panda. So I'll have to suggest.
They don't know Oliver. Do something. Do something the kids like. Do
Or
SpongeBob
maybe show
or
tunes
something.
in general. Show tunes would be fun. It's fun. But my story I wanted to tell about food insecurity, Patty Steinberg, again, one of our founders, wonderful, just ambassador for camp. She tells the story about spaghetti in pockets. And so there was a counselor came to her at the time. She was the director of the camp and said, I have this camper that has spaghetti in their pockets. And literal spaghetti in their pockets. So they
Sauce.
Sauce too.
Okay, just
pulled
checking.
pulled the kid aside.
I'm seeing a Chef Boyardee thing.
Had a little chat with the child, and what's going on? Why'd you put spaghetti in your pockets? And the camper said, I've never seen that much food before, and wanted to take some with him because of what these are children.
Don't know where their next meal's coming
They
from.
don't know where the next. And so when you come to
I've
camp,
talked about that all week, and I'm
Yeah.
so
It's just
so
so-
glad that Chad Steele threw me out, and
Yeah.
I could come here and talk to you instead.
perspective
right now,
is like
to be really
so
honest
huge.
with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my dad starved, right, and then it took me years even thinking. Until I thought this promotion up, I never really thought about it. But my father would always say, "Put food in your belly. Put food in
Yeah.
your belly."
Yeah.
Yeah, my father stood in soup line, so this is
Yeah.
a little bit about him, I guess.
Sure.
But more like doing something that's good with meeting people like you.
Yeah.
I told my son, I said 3 months ago, he came up with a cup of Super Bowl. That was his idea.
Well done.
Well, he said to me, it's Super Bowl week. You should do something with crab soup. Then I took it to soup. Would I want a cup of soup or a bowl of soup? Soup or bowl? Soup or bowl? Maybe we should do it the week of the big game.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're here. So,
Yeah.
But you hear these stories. So this child had spaghetti in their pockets.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. You could have given them a takeout.
Yeah.
You can take that back to your room, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they didn't know that.
Yeah.
How
No.
old are these kids? They're little
So-
kids,
Yeah,
right?
they're little. They're ages 8 to 11, sometimes 7 to 12. It all depends on what grade they're in.
Pre-puberty. Little
Yeah,
guys.
we try to get them before they go to middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's great. So yeah, you can find us on the web at campopportunity.org.
Jack Delaney would be very proud of you.
Yeah.
He would be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
he's proud of you too.
Well, I'm going to send you. Well, I don't know. I mean, I do what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm having fun.
You do a lot.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how to find you, how to donate, what they can do. Is there anything that happens other than these kids going to camp the other 50 weeks of the year around here other than writing a check or being nice?
Yeah, I mean, so we're pretty active year-round because we do year-round programming. So we have like a winter event that's coming up this Saturday. That's virtual, though. We send packages home. We do stuff around the holidays where we do adopt a camper and we deliver presents to their homes. So there's, go on our website. There's a whole page about, how to get involved. Obviously, donations are great. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get these services to more kids that need them. There's, over 4,100 kids under court protection in the state of Maryland, and we're serving, this year maybe 72 of them. So
how do you find them and vet them?
Referral sources, so DSS.
So if you know someone that has a child and
that could use our services, yep, they come for free, and we get them to camp. We don't let transportation be a barrier. We pay for it, everything. So, yeah.
Aren't you awesome?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have you back again sometime soon.
Yeah.
I'll have you watch the whole Oliver reading. You come back and give me an Oscar or something like that. Give me a Jack is what you can give me. Or
I'll give you a Jack, yeah.
Yeah. Find campopportunity.org. Make sure I got orgs and nets and comms. Make sure I get all that together. Did you get some soup?
Not yet, but I am.
All right. Well, you're Dundalk girl, so, make yourself at home. Take shoes off.
Yeah.
Trish Woodward, Camp Opportunity. I'm not going to lose my voice by Friday. I don't think. I mean, because I'm letting everybody else talk a little bit.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps.
You are a talker. It's your gift.
I'm going to go silent now. I went home last night. My wife's like small talking me. I'm like, nah, I'm done talking. I'm just done talking.
Well, my husband's a talker too, and she should do this for you.
Call your husband?
No, I tell him, I say, you've used up all your words for the day, so can you just stop talking?
I'm never done with words. When I'm done with words, they're going to be burying me. You all be sad. I'll be gone. Trish Woodward's here. She's campopportunity.org. We knew each other 44 years ago. We know each other again now. Brian's here. Santa Claus in the house. What's up? And we got 2 more segments here. So I would recap everything we're doing. But I've gone from veterans to churches to food insecurity to children. We're going to do animals. I did animals at the beginning of the day. I did Leah Bittinger here earlier from Essex. She's Bring 'em Home Animal Rescue. Nice. And the best part of her is she's a reformed Steeler fan. She got rid of the Steelers years ago, so I like her better now. So that's good. Tanya, is it Keats or Kites? Keats. That's what I said. Tanya Keats. Show your soft side. I've always wanted to be a show your soft side model. I don't know what I need to do. Lose some weight. I couldn't get a prettier kitty than I have from Show Your Soft. You know Show Your Soft Side, right?
No, what is it?
No, they do animals, and what they do is they try to get people from stop hurting animals.
Awesome.
And Show Your Soft Side. The tough guys like my buddy Johnny Rollo, my former Our Lady of Fatima altar boy, and football teammate, baseball teammate, and MMA tough guy. He gets his muscles and his tattoos, but you give him a little kitty and he's weak, John Rollo. So I love John, and John's come on to talk about adopting his cats, and he's the one to talk me into it. He adopted a cat, and he came on my show, and he's like, it'll be the greatest thing you've ever done. Your wife's going to love you for it. This is 2011, before my wife got cancer. So my wife and I get the cat. I'm in love with the cat from the beginning. Then my wife starts to die on me twice, gets leukemia twice, in a hospital 155 nights, and all I did was stay home, and the cat fell in love with me. And my wife survived and came home, and the cat loved me. And then the cat died. And it was the worst. My mother died, and my cat died 4 weeks apart. Oh, my God. When my cat died, it was like the worst thing that's ever happened. And we readopted in 13 days. I made it 13 days. I canceled a trip to the West Coast. Chad Steele took my press credential for such things. But we readopted at Baltimore Humane, and we love our girl Nala. So you ever seen our cat? You're not Facebook friends with me?
I think I am.
Well, listen now. She's going to be – I got to go to the right library to make sure that I find my the right pictures, albums, right? Because she's in my favorites. So let me get to my favorites album. Hold on, favorites. There we go. Because she's like the first 10 pictures of my favorites. That's my little girl. Has everybody seen my cat before? Everybody knows what she is. She's a beautiful calico.
Yeah.
This is her sleeping in my wife's yoga bag, which she moves. She's my wife's cat.
Yeah.
I mean, she loves me when my wife leaves.
Right.
But she loves me. But she loves my wife.
That's awesome.
She's attached to my wife. She digs me.
Good.
When she's screaming at 4 in the morning, I'm the one that feeds her. So
Good for you.
All right, we're going to talk animals with Tanya. Show your soft side. We're going to have Brian Marchetti here. I don't even know what charity he represents. I don't know. He's just sort of Santa Claus, and I know him. And his sister cared for my mother till the day my mother died.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, special people in the house here today. We're at Costas. Bring some canned goods down. If you're listening, we're in our final hour. It's 4:20. Do not bring me any cannabis. I already have a sponsor. So it's 4:20 though. It really is 4:20.
I know.
I'm looking up right now. It's not 4:21. Show your soft side. Brian Marchetti. We're at Costas. Bring us some canned goods. Our friends at the Maryland Lottery. You already got. I like throwing them out.
Yeah.
You get a lot. My son is here today, being my executive producer. JR's kept us on the air. My wife knocked us off the air, then got us back on the air. So I'm happy with her today. We're back for more from Costas. It is a cup of Super Bowl, and I'm going to make it till Friday. At least I think I am.
You're doing great.
Not sure. We'll find out.